Hey up, Rock God 2004, back with another video for you. And this is my latest what I have watched over the last week or so. And I've crammed quite a lot in, actually. There's a kind of few video nasties that I've watched. So yes, I've actually watched a fair bit. So let's get cracking. And the first one I watched was a video nasty. I think it was a section 3. And it's one of those that's only available on DVD, and this is Wrong Way. Now, when I showed this, you might remember that I showed it, and it's a DVD-R. It's printed, but then it's like that. It turns out that's how they all are. The seller told me, he said, that's how I bought it off Amazon. And then I went on YouTube and found somebody else who got it. And he said, this is from this company. What they're called again? Desert Island Films. He said, and they specialize in doing burnt to water DVD-R films of stuff you can't get. So I kept it because I thought it's the only way you're going to get it. So Wrong Way, right then. I've got to be careful what I say about this. There's two girls in a car. It's like in the middle of the country in America, and they break down. And there's this family of 3 or 4 blokes who they get like these bikers over who sell them weed and stuff like that, you know, and they're drinking beer and smoking weed and stuff. And one of them is driving the truck, and he pulls over, and he says to them, are you all right and stuff like that. He never cracks a smile. Never cracks a smile. And he has a look at the car. He says, oh, it's whatever he said it is. So there's a garage down the road. I can take you if you, oh, would you please? Yeah. Anyway, so they get in the car, and they set off, and they go like, we've passed this. And he's going, I know. Deadpan. So they do try and get out, but they don't. Anyway, he pulls over when they get back to the house. And, yeah. Well, you know what happens in I Spit on Your Grave? It's not as graphic as that, but it's very prolonged. They like get a chain pulled on them, you know. There's like 3 or 4 of them. Just keep swapping over and what have you. And this goes on for about 15, 20 minutes. It's clearly not, they're not really doing it, but it's just the idea of it. I thought at first, I wonder if it was like sort of a bit of a hardcore thing, you know, cut out. It wasn't. Because when you see the bodies go up, don't think they're nowhere near them. But if that's a very sensitive subject to you, I would approach this with extreme care. It's very, very low budget. What I found weird is when you put the disc in, I think it just played straight away. And the first thing you see is the BBFC cinema, old cinema certificate X. I was like, you're joking. This did not get a cinema release over here. It must have been on one of those, like, you know, dodgy adult theaters is what I'm assuming it must have been. But yeah, it is very low budget. I'm trying to think of something it's kind of similar to. The acting's atrocious. It's kind of in, I'd put it in league with Forest of Fear, or as it's known on Blu-ray, Toxic Zombies. It's that low budget type of thing. And kind of Blood Feast, but more modern, because I think it was 70s, this. It's not the greatest film. I've seen worse, but I've seen far better. It's not brilliant. Yeah, probably I don't know, 4.5 out of 10. But if you're collecting all the video nasties, yeah, you will need to get it. There's a version you can also get which doesn't have that stupid green banner on, but I think that's just like a homemade thing. I don't know. But it's like kind of got that artwork without the green banner on. It looks better, But at least I know there's actually a company who've done this, but badly, but they've done it. It looks like a VHS rip. It's not great. So, yeah, that's wrong way. Next up, I watched the other 88 films when I got the Tygon film, which was Peter Cushing in The Blood Beast Terror. I was actually very impressed and pleasantly surprised by this. I actually like this more than Island of Terror. It's you think it's a vampire film and it isn't. It's I'm trying to remember the storyline now because it was like over a week since I watched it. I can't remember the full storyline, but I know it's like people keep dying, and when they find them, it's like I think it's all the blood's gone out of the body. They're just laid there with like nothing, if I remember rightly. And these people, like there's Peter Cushing and somebody else are trying to find out what's going on. But at the beginning, you think it's vampire, but it's not. I won't say what it is because this is definitely worth watching. It's gone back up in price as well. I got this when it was down to about 13 quid, I think, and it's gone back up to like about 16, 17 pound. But yeah, I did enjoy this. It's just I've watched that many. I'm trying to remember about them. I really can't remember. Hang on. See if this jogs my memory. A series of bloodthirsty murders is investigated by Inspector Quinnell and Sergeant Allen of Scotland Yard. But when their search for the killer leads them to the door of strange entomologist Dr. Carl Mallinger and his beautiful daughter Claire, events take a nightmarish turn in this 19th century tale of transformation, monsters, and terror. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Roy Hudd's in it. Daft get. He's like the head of the morgue type of thing. He eats pickled onions like a good one. But Peter Cushing's actually got a sense of humour in this. But yeah, definitely, I would definitely watch this. About a 6.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. The Blood Beast Terror. Next one I watched was another Section 3, I think it is, video Nasty. I got this again because I finally got it with the slip, so I'm going to get rid of mine now, my old one now. This is Contamination. This is the one that people say it's like a sort of a rip-off of Alien. It isn't. The only thing like it's got about aliens is eggs. But the beginning kind of reminded me of a little bit of the beginning of Hell of the Living Dead, where it's like in there's a part in it where they're in this like facility and they've all got these white sort of has thingy suits on, the chemical thingy ones. These eggs just appear, and they're very. If they explode, then you're gone. If they touch you, your chest explodes. I don't know why, but there's loads of exploding chests in it. I was surprised that it did get uncut as a 15. I thought it would have been uncut, but as an 18. I mean, it's as daft as a box of frogs, don't get me wrong. But I tell you what, when I first watched this, I hated it. This time around, I actually enjoyed it. It's amazing when you watch a film. You dare pick your phone up once, or you try and play a game or something while you're watching a film. It's amazing how much it spoils a film for you. So this has gone from probably a 0 or a 1 out of 10 for me to probably about a 4.5 to a 5. It is quite sci-fi, but look at that slip, it's beautiful. But yeah, it's a lot more enjoyable than when I watched it first time around, and I'm pretty sure the music as well. There's a lot like of goblin music, you know, where you're hearing like the zombie films and stuff. Starring Italian horror veteran Ian McCulloch, Contamination from director blah de blah is one of the brightest stars in the firmament of early 80s Italian splatter. A cargo ship drifts into New York Harbor. That's right, it's all coming back to me now. And it seems abandoned. Its crew are all dead. Their bodies are horribly mutilated, turned inside out by an unknown force. Its freight, boxes upon boxes of glowing, pulsating green eggs. It soon becomes clear that these eggs are not of this planet, and someone intends to cultivate them here on Earth. But who? And to what end? Contamination takes the premise of Ridley Scott's classic Alien, and peppers it with exploding guts galore and a dangerously infectious soundtrack from celebrated Italian prog rockers Goblin. There you go. You will recognise the music in this. There's bits. I'm sure there's bits of Dawn of the Dead and other films that you'll hear as well. But yeah, I actually did enjoy it this time, which I'm very, very pleased about. Contamination. Next up, I thought I'll give the horrors a little bit of a rest now. I need to watch something normal. So I watched Rocky 5. My God, did I enjoy this? It does. It does come on, and I'm sat watching it. And I don't know if you remember, but I did mention I've been saying to people, Rocky 5. That's the one with that arsehole who keeps trying to fight Rocky. He's tall and thin with spiky hair, and he's a right knob, and people are going, yeah, that's him. It really isn't. So this young lad comes on. He's the one who comes to Rocky and wants him to train him because he's like an idol of his. And the one who wants him, who's like playing the opponent of Rocky, like he's not the opponent as in the ring. He's like his arch enemy type of thing, but that's going a bit too far. Is the guy out of Jason Goes to Hell who eats the heart? Yeah, the black dude, the doctor. It's him. So once Rocky's training him up, he's trying to get him off him to fight for him to get him money, and this lad turns into a right knob. And I'm thinking, where's this spiky head lad I've been saying to people? That's the one. Then it dawned on me. The spiky-haired wanker I was explaining and trying to describe. He's not even in a Rocky film. He's in the fucking Karate Kid 3. Oh, my goodness.
Knob.
Cock.
Ball. Big bulbous.
Bell end. No wonder people are looking at me like I'm not right. Karate Kid 3, Rocky 5. Yeah, I see where you got it from. Anyway. There is an amazing scene in this involving a street fighter, shall I say. But I loved it. I've heard people say, Rocky 5's crap. Bollocks. Really, really did enjoy this. I still, to this day, will stand by what I said. As much as I love it, Rocky 3 is the worst one of the lot for me. Doesn't mean to say I don't like it, but I don't get how you all think it's the best one. It's got to be at the time, it means that much because you watched it when you were a kid or something, because it's definitely not the best film. I really enjoyed this. So, and it looks brilliant on 4K as well. Highly recommended. Rocky 5. Well, that was it. I was in Rocky mode, so I watched Rocky Balboa next as well, straight after it. This has got the director's cut on as well, but I only watched the theatrical cut because I have never seen this one. So this was definitely a first time watching me. As soon as it come on, I'm watching it. So I was like, no, definitely haven't seen this. I absolutely loved this film. And they've ended it so well, I think, personally. But my God, this film's heartbreaking. I found it. So sad. And I was like, didn't want that to happen, and you get all that type of stuff in it. And yeah, really, and I found it a really emotional film. If you've never seen this, and if you're like me, where you've seen the first 5 and you still have not watched this, watch it. I'm not going to say anything else. Just watch it. It's a million times better than what I thought it was going to be. This felt to me very much like the first 2, and I think that's why I loved it so much as well. But my God, this has got some heartbreaking stuff in it as well. I am going to watch the director's cut. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's just extended scenes or whether, like Rocky IV, which I still haven't watched the director's cut of that yet. I don't know if it makes the film like kind of different, because I know a lot of people told me that in Rocky IV that the robot isn't in the director's cut. Well, I've not seen it, so but there you go. So my God, do I recommend this? What a film, Rocky Balboa. So then the next day I was right back on video nasty mode, and I thought I need to get this watched. I've waited so long to see this, so I watched Night Beast. This is so entertaining. It's as mad as a box of frogs. The acting's bad. It's funny in parts when it's not supposed to be, but this is so entertaining. Really enjoyed this. With a creature like that in it, how can you not? I know it starts off, you see this like spaceship thing land, and that walks out and starts creating holy havoc, and they try. It doesn't matter what they do. They're trying to shoot it. They're trying to stab it. They're trying to do it, and they just cannot kill this thing because it's from another planet. I will refresh your memory. That's the video nasty artwork. Look at the face on that. But yeah, it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's hour and a half maximum, I think, was it? It's quite gory. It is quite gory. It's not too sci-fi. And the bits of sci-fi in it, you've got to realise this is low budget, the early 80s, so you can imagine where I'm coming from with this. My God, I will watch this again, definitely. If you haven't seen it, you can still order it on, I don't know if you can get it on Amazon, but I've seen it on eBay. There's a few American places. There's one or two do free shipping as well, can get this, but you don't get the slip, but it's like that. But if you're collecting the nasties, you've got to get this one. I didn't see this back in the 80s. This was my first time viewing of this ever. And I was laughing through it. And then there's other bits I'm like, oof. But yeah, you could do far worse than watch this. Night Beast. Next one I watched, it wasn't a video nasty, but it is a horror film. And my God, do I love this film. And I thought, I need to watch this. This looks fantastic. It's a brilliant addition. The picture quality looks great. And this is the Australian release. This is Intruder. I'm not entirely sure whether this is cut. I need to find my original Synapse director's cut to compare it. Because there's one scene, I won't say what or who, but it involves like a sort of a on a hook thing. And I, in my mind, thought you saw more on the Synapse one. But then when I think back to the original trailer, you definitely saw more. So I could be getting muddled up. It did still seem really gory in parts. But because it's that long since I've seen it, it could be just my mind playing tricks on me. But this, there's nothing fancy in this. It's just a good slasher film that takes place in a supermarket that's closed down for the night. So they close the shop, they're restocking the shelves, and some creep comes around knocking on the door, and he's the ex-boyfriend of one of the girls who works there. And he just will not piss off. And then people start dying in very brutal ways. I jumped a couple of times in this because I forgot about it. And I jumped and I was like, oh, you bastard, you got me. What a film. I love it. Quite low budget, but my God, the gore it's fantastic in parts. This is what I can't understand. It's gotta be me that's not thinking right, because the bit I said about the hook, although that seems shorter, one of the goriest scenes that I remember, that is still in. And it involves a saw and a head, yeah. But that's there. That's what I don't understand. It's got to be my mind playing tricks on me. But it's got Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi, a little appearance by Bruce Campbell. If you haven't seen this film, it doesn't matter whether it's this edition or not, but don't get a cut one. You want this or the Synapse one, or the 88 Films slasher collection. I do believe that one's uncut as well. You do need to see this film. It is so underrated and overlooked. It deserves a hell of a lot more than what it gets. And I personally think that title is at fault. It originally came out when they were making it. It was called Night Crew. And I think that was just like, because it's the crew working in the shop at night, stocking the shelves and that. And that's exactly what I was looking for decades. It came out in the 80s, and I didn't find out about this film till 2012 or 13. So I've been looking since 1988 when I first seen the trailer, I think. Or it might have been before that, because it came out in 86, possibly. Anyway, no, it came out in 89. I saw the trailer on the telly. I don't know, it was like film 88 or whatever. And it was called Night Crew. So I've been looking for it. I thought it must have been banned because it was that gory, the trailer. And then for some bizarre reason, when we got in it one day, I just Googled Night Crew horror film, Sam Raimi. And this come up. And I was like, no, not that. I remember that being in the video shop with the crap cover. And when I read about it, I was like, it is it. So, yeah, I was looking for the wrong title. It does on this edition, though, which I was really surprised of. I haven't watched it yet. But it does say that there is the original work print for it is on here under the name Intruder. I wonder if that's got that gaudy scene I'm talking about on it, because it's definitely in the trailer. And then it says original Night Crew trailer and original Intruder trailer. I didn't watch that either. Attack of the Helping Hand, a short film from 1979. Now, 1979 was when he was doing The Evil Dead. He was filming that then. Sam Raimi, but I don't know whether he's actually done this or not. But yeah, Intruder. If you like the slashers, do yourself a favour and get this bad boy. Intruder. Next one, I thought, right, I need to bite the bullet and get these nasties, sort of these animal ones. So I watched the Ruggero Deodato one, Last Cannibal World. This starts, they're on this crew, like on some sort of an oil, looking for oil sort of exploration-y thing. Exploration, not explanation. And they find signs of cannibalism. And it's in the Philippines, this. And then after a while, they start disappearing. I actually really, really enjoyed it. This is one of the better cannibal films for me. On the Nasties list, I think it was called Cannibal, just Cannibal. Of course it was. There's the artwork that was on the original VHS, Cannibal. So this is before Cannibal Holocaust, but the same director. There is only one bit of animal cruelty that's really unpleasant. And it's crocodile or alligator. They carry it tied up on a stick, the cannibals, into this, like in this cave thing. And one of the men from the expedition, they've got him sort of like locked away in this like makeshift cavey thing with like a bamboo sort of gate over it. So they bring this crocodile in, it's still alive. Its feet's tied up and its mouth's tied up. And then this guy just gets a knife out and starts like sort of a half decapitation. He gets about halfway, takes the knife out, straight through the buns. They flip it over and then straight up the belly and pull everything out. It's not nice. It really isn't nice. It's still, believe it or not as bad as Cannibal Holocaust. I I think Cannibal Holocaust it's kind of helped me tolerate this a bit more. I'm not saying I'm desensitized. I'm not. There is no easy way of watching these films. Once there's animal cruelty in, it is never, ever easy to watch. But in my mind, the worst one I've seen up to now, and I'm hoping that's it. I think, right, I've got through that. I can get through the rest. And the fact that this is just one scene that's bad. The others, it shows you like other animal stuff, but that's nature. But apart from that one scene, the rest of it, what a cracking film! I really enjoyed it. This is only about an hour and a half long as well. It's easier to watch, a lot easier to watch than Cannibal Holocaust. It's not quite as, it's not fast paced, but it's not very slow either. But yeah, this is the first time watching it. But yeah, really enjoyed the film apart from that one scene. So that is Last Cannibal World, or on the video nasty list, Cannibal. Then straight after that, I thought, right, yeah, one's enough for one night. So I thought, I'm going to watch this, that my very good friend Carlos from Eastwood fan for life, sent me. I'll leave a link below to Carlos's channel. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch one of these Roy Scheider films. So I watched Cohen and Tate. My God, what a film. I'd never seen it before. There is this mob. They need to talk to a witness that's witnessed a killing that's mob related. And they send these two heavies out to find the person. However, the person's an 8-year-old boy. I think that's how old he is. And my God, it's brutal what they do to the parents. And the worst of it is because you're that used to seeing Roy Scheider as the good fella. Good fella, please yourself. I was shocked to find out that he was the bastard. But this prick as well, Tate, you hate him. He's an absolute knobhead. So these are the two hitmen who come and get him, but they don't like each other. They bite, they're fighting, they're bickering, and you're thinking, I don't know how this is going to go. But they do eventually get the kid, and they've got to pick the kid up unharmed and take him back to the people who want to talk to him about whatever he's seen. But it's not all plain sailing. It's just a really entertaining film. I loved it. Cracking film. Carlos was telling me as well that it's like it's a special edition, but you got to bear in mind as well, when Arrow was starting doing these, they didn't do slips. Very, very rarely. The only slips that I remember them doing were the white box. So although it doesn't have a slip, it is the special edition. It's like it's where you get the 2 discs and a booklet, stuff like that. Yeah. So there's the booklet, DVD and Blu-ray there. And he was telling me that this is long out of print. And I thought, I've never even seen this in a shop. That is the reversible art, though. But I don't even remember the original artwork. I had a look there. Doesn't even look vaguely familiar to me, that. But if you can track this down, or if you have it and you've never watched it yet, get it watched. What a cracking film. Cohen and Tate. Next up, I was back to the Nasties. So I watched one that I was familiar with, and I knew it was safe to watch and enjoy, because I just enjoy this film so much. I do have this on 4K already on 88 Films, but I wanted this one as well. So this is Hell of the Living Dead. On the video nasties list, it was called Zombie Creeping Flesh. A lot of you will probably know this one as Hell of the Living Dead, because I know quite a lot of people bought the 4K on 88 Films. It starts off with a factory, and they are experimenting something which you don't find out what it is till the end. And whatever it is leaks. And if you breathe it in, I'll get you or whatever. I've got the music in my head now. Cannibal Zombie. Very, very much in parts like Dawn of the Dead, down to the flesh colour, the green of the zombies. And, you know, when in Dawn of the Dead, they're sending like those, like SWAT people in the blue things, like, you know, Ken Furry and the other guy. All them are there like that. Was one of them. My God, he looks like Nico McBrain out of Iron Maiden, but with a better nose. What an annoying prick he is. So they go to this island because it's spread. And you see this little kid, zombie. He's brilliant. He's amazing. But this is funny and very gory. And I was watching this, and I didn't remember this, but you got to remember, I haven't watched this since I got the 88 one, which was like earlier last year. I thought that there was no animal scenes in it, but there is. But you do see an animal get cut up and all its stuff pulled out, but you don't see it get killed. It's already dead. And I thought, Jesus, I don't remember this. And then there was another bit that I couldn't remember. And I can't remember what that was. And I was like, I need to watch the 88 film one again to see if it's in. If you've got the 88 films one, let me know. Do you see towards the end? It's like sort of I'd say an animal cruelty scene, but the animal is dead and they're cutting it up for food, whatever. But it shows like all the innards getting took out. It's awful, and getting skinned and that type of stuff. And there's another bit as well. If that's in, then yeah. I mean, they said it was uncut, so it must be. But this film is just, it's such a good time. It's just such a blast. It really is. It's just so daft, but so entertaining. I love this film. Hell of the Living Dead, also known on the Video Nasties list as Zombie Creeping Flesh. Now I was awake all night because I just could not, I just wasn't tired. I dozed off for the last 30, 40 minutes of Hell of the Living Dead because I'd put that on at tea time. So when I got a bit later on, I watched the end of that and I was like, I'm not tired. So I basically watched films all night. So in the early hours of the morning, I thought, I need to watch this. So I stuck Captain Kronos on. Oh my God. I was expecting this film to be not good because of people saying not the greatest Hammer film. And do you know what? I thought it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. It's a different take on the vampires, but without spoiling it, I won't say what, but you still see fangs. It's not that bad. There's just something else different about it. And I tell you what, I didn't see the ending. I did not see that happen at all. Caroline Munro in it is absolutely amazing. She's stunning in it as well. And the guy who plays Captain Kronos, I don't know if I've ever seen him before, but the one who plays Captain Kronos' friend, I actually thought that was Roman Polanski first, but older version. And I watched the widescreen. I think it was like the UK cut, because then on the same disc you get the full screen, because apparently it was filmed in full screen, you know, like normal square telly shape. But I wanted to watch the widescreen one. And then on disc 2, there's the US theatrical cut. Now I don't know if there's any difference to that, so I will need to watch it again. But what a film this is. What an amazing... I just loved it. Don't know what it was. There was just something about it. And there's a documentary on the end of it called House of Clements. Because the guy who wrote a lot of the Avengers and stuff like that, he did the Professionals and stuff like that. He passed away in 2015. I know it's Clements, but Brian Clements, is it? No. Can't remember his first name. Anyway, he passed away in 2015, and this annoying dude, whoever he is, goes to the house to see his wife and 2 sons, and they've invited him to stay there. They're going to show him around the house, and there's a lot. They said basically the house is as he left it. And it was about an hour long, this documentary, and it was absolutely fascinating. And some of the stuff in that house must be worth an absolute fortune, you know, like an original quad poster of this. And obviously his name's in the credits there, and like original scripts that he's wrote and signed and dated. And they've even got a storybook that he wrote, a story in a book that he wrote when he was at school as a kid. It's still there. But these, this Captain Kronos thing, him and his friend are traveling, and that's basically their job, vampire hunters. And he rides on his horse into this little village, and there's somebody in the stocks with Rotten Tomatoes thrown. It's a woman who you assume is Caroline Munro, and once she gets out the stocks, you see it is because her hair's all down. Why are you locked up? And she says, because I danced on a Sunday. It's like, oh, you are evil. So he whips his chopper out.
Matron, you filthy beast!
And sets her free. So she says, I want to come with you. And he says, right, get in the back of the cart. So she jumps in the back of the car and off they go, because he's looking for a vampire that he's heard about. And I'm not giving much away, but it doesn't take long before the lucky swine is Roger and Air Simple. Frequently. It's not explicit, obviously, but it's there. Quite a lot. And you think, right, he's all done now, then she starts wanting more. Obviously, you filthy beast. I'm only jealous, but yeah. Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. What an absolute blast. This film is so entertaining. I had a look to see how long was left of it because I wanted a wee. And I thought, I know it's only been on about 25 to 30 minutes, but I'll have a look. It had been on an hour. One of them just went through like no time. Amazing. It definitely feels like a Hammer film. I wouldn't say it's the best Hammer film, but my God, it is one of the most entertaining. It had me sold from the opening scene till the end. Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. If you're thinking, oh, you're on the shelf about getting this, don't think. Just get it while you can, because it ain't going to be around forever. So once that finished, I thought, right, give me another nasty. I thought, this is the one I really fancied. And this is Slave of the Cannibal God, or as it's known on the video Nasties list, Mountain of the Cannibal God. When the film comes up, the main title, when you're watching it, it does say Mountain of the Cannibal God. I was over the moon. I was like, yes, the video nasty title's the real one, so I don't know where Slave come from. And there's also, there's 3 titles I've told you before. I can't remember what the other one is. Slave, Mountain, and the other one. Anyway, Ursula Andress goes to this. It's like a sort of a. Oh, what do you call it? You know, like when. My memory, man. You know, like when, say, if you're in another country and you need to go to something to. You have trouble, you need to be out, you go to there. You know what I mean? God, what's it called? It's like the international, the embassy. Is it embassy? Yeah, right. Anyway, she goes to this thing. Her husband went to this island and he was never seen again. Now, this guy there, he's going, trust me, we give them so many weeks before we go looking, and if they aren't back, we assume that that's it. You've lost them. No, I don't think he did say we go looking. He said we wait. We give them so long to get back, and if somebody goes looking and they can't find them, they'll come back and they give them so long. And if they're not back, then you've got to assume they're dead. And she's like, I want my husband. I know he's alive. So anyway, she gets people to take her over. And she meets Stacey Keach. Stacey Keach is fantastic in it. And I tell you what, for saying the type of film this is, it's like really sort of like anamorphic widescreens. It's really, really been shot well, and a decent cast as well. So she goes over there with this guy, takes him in a helicopter with Stacey Keach and the other crew. And I think some of the crew are from that area, from the jungle, so they can find the way around. And it's like, there we go, we're back going through the jungle again and stuff. Most of the animal death scenes in this is nature. It's animals killing for food. You see like a snake catch a monkey, that type of stuff. It's something you've seen on the telly loads of times. I know it's not great to see, but at least it's nature. There's one scene that I didn't like, which is an animal cruelty one, and it's basically pretty similar to what I told you about the alligator in the last one, except this is one of those big lizards that the big ones, and it's not nice. Again, stab Rippy down and pulling out stuff, and it's not nice. But take that scene away, and this is a great film. Now, John warned me about this scene that he didn't like. I'll leave a link below to John's channel as well. And he said something about picking up a crab and eating it in whole, like shell and everything. Now, this happened, and I was like, well, that was cooked, and he's only just bit the front of it. Yeah, that wasn't the bit he meant. It does happen. But the thing that these pick up and bite, it's shaped like a crab. But to me, it looks like they're being coated in batter, like fish and chips. So God knows. He doesn't like crabs, so it didn't get me as much as it did him. For me, it was the lizard. I didn't like that at all. But I must admit, so far, these ones that I've watched that I got for Christmas have been some of the better cannibal films, because they're not as frequent and full on. And I've got to admit, Cannibal Holocaust is more enjoyable when you watch the animal cruelty free version, which I think you can only get on the Grindhouse Blu-ray release. But yeah, take away that one scene, and there's a couple of other animal ones, but they're watchable because of the nature. What a cracking film this is. Slave of the Cannibal God, or on the Nasties list, and the proper name, by the looks of it, is Mountain of the Cannibal God, with Ursula Andress and Stacey Keach. Great cast and a cracking little film. And the last one. I've just watched this tonight before I started recording this video. My God, this was amazing. I loved it. I'd seen it before, but I didn't realise how good it was till I sit and watched it. This is a 4K, and it's definitely an improvement on the Blu-ray. Alice, Sweet Alice. Now, what I didn't realise as well, this is fantastic. There's when you put the disc in and you press play, it gives you 3 options. You get to watch it as Communion, which is the original title of the film, also the video nasty title of it, but I didn't realise that Communion was the official original name for it. Or you can watch it as Alice, Sweet Alice, or you can watch it as the re-release version, which was called Holy Terror. And what I didn't know is if you watch it as Communion, which I did, it's got extended gore scenes in. And then, oh, geez, they make you cringe. So I'm not quite sure. On the UK Blu-ray, I'm not sure which version it's got. This has got all 3. And my God, it looks good on 4K. It really does. It's, how can I describe this? It's 2 sisters, and you can tell they're from, the dad's left, so it's a broken home. It's in America. And it comes across as one kid is treated better than the other, both girls. And the youngest one is Brooke Shields. I think the one who plays her elder sister is an unknown. She's amazing in it, but my God, she is freaky. So it's Brooke Shields as Communion. And this other poor lass, her sister's like, well, I want a communion. And you always get the impression like she's favoured Brooke Shields. But her sister is horrible to her. Probably jealousy. But on the day of the communion, Brooke Shields gets murdered in the church. And the first suspect's the sister. Because the killer, I'm not saying it is the sister, I'm not saying it's not. But the killer is wearing the exact same coat, mask, and everything else that the sister wears. And you don't know until the actual reveal who it is. You don't know if it is the sister or if it's somebody else. What a cracking film this is. I really enjoyed it. This must have been before Brooke Shields was famous, because I think I was watching the interview with the director at the end, and he was saying that he found Brooke Shields. He's seen that she was a model, a child model in a magazine, so he contacted the parents, the mother, and said, I'd like her to try out for this film. And anyway, they brought her down, and he was like, yeah. And the lass who plays the sister is Alice, not Brooke Shields. He found her at some sort of a amateur acting place, and he said he was watching her thinking, my God, that girl is strange. So he approached, he was talking to her, and he got to know her and stuff like that. He was like, yeah, you're Alice, you've got the part. She's brilliant in it as well. I don't know if she's done anything else. I've never seen her again. It's the only time I've seen her. But I love the feel of this. It's just so 80s. And it's also, it's something different. It's not like your normal, like Friday the 13th, Halloween type of thing. You're guessing all the way through. It's a thriller as well as a slasher. But it's just a fucking good slasher film. I really, really enjoyed it. If you're getting this, or if you've got this, watch the Communion cut, because that's the uncut one. It's got the extra gore in. I think it's only second, but Matt, you'll see. I will watch the others just to compare in one day. But this isn't just like an hour and a half. This is about an hour and 45. Hour and 45, hour and 49, something like that. So it's a decent sized film. It's not slow at all. Oh, there's a creep who lives downstairs. He makes me look like Twiggy. And, just watch it. But this is, I liked it when I first watched it, but this is like shot way up in my estimation now. So that is, and you can have that artwork as a slipcover if you want as well. But you need to get this from Arrow US. That's the website exclusive. If you order from anywhere else, you're going to get that on the slip. I wanted the original, but it tells you about the different titles as well. Communion was the original title. It fell through because I don't know why the company was it Columbia who were going to release it, and then they backed out. Then somebody else came along and said, "Don't like that name," so that changed the name, and that's when it got Alice, Sweet Alice. Then when it got re-released again later on, that's when it became Holy Terror. Very interesting interview with the director, but that's the only extra I've watched. So yeah, I highly recommend this. If you're on the fence again about this, get it ordered, man. Get it ordered. It's such a good film. Alice, Sweet Alice, or as it's known on the video nasty list, and the original title, Communion. And that's your lot. And I'm going goggle-eyed watching them all. I haven't finished yet. I still have a couple of video nasties to watch. And other stuff. But I thought, yeah, I'm going to get cracking. I'm going to watch a lot of these as well. But I do have another Roy Scheider one, which Carlos sent me to watch as well. I'm going to watch that soon. But I can start and put these away at home, make a bit of room. I hope you enjoyed that one. It's probably going to be a bit long, I don't know. But last time I did this, it was nearly a bloody hour or more. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Thank you very much for watching, all two of you. I hope I'll give you some good ideas. Or if you're thinking, I wonder what that's like, I hope I'll give you a little sort of insight. Anything you want to ask, Just ask me if you want to know anything about the films, and I'll answer as best I can without spoiling it for you. Yes, so there you go. I'll see you very soon on the next video, and until then, you all take care of yourselves. Ta-ta.